Okay, guys. Hello, people of Earth. I am the world's highest mind, your noocracy representative. I lead the entire world science community. I want to talk to you about wokeism, and we need to define what being woke is, right? So I want to tell you what I think being woke is, right? We'll call it enlightenment or just knowing something, knowing a concept, basic concept, perhaps even. Uh, to me, it's understanding, first and foremost, that nations cannot kill their citizens, right? The reason why I started a new country on the West Coast is because the United States didn't understand the Declaration of Independence. It didn't understand our unalienable right to life. We have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness that must be upheld by the government. And it's the job for the government to understand and uphold basic rights. The problem is they failed to do so for 250 years since America's inception and have acclimated instead death. And they have coddled the vindictive side of human nature when the entire prison industrial complex was cruelty under the Eighth Amendment. America was supposed to be the champion of liberty and freedom. But it just didn't understand its own constitution. We're living in an idiocracy, much like the movie by Mike Judge, where everyone's just kind of a moron. They've been morons for 250 years. And we have a serious problem because of leaded gasoline. It's caused an entire generation of morons from 1951 to 1980. And we have a situation from Gerald Cox convincing politicians that illegal waste was good for bones and teeth back in 1939. What is it to be woke? Okay, when everyone has brain damage in the entire population practically, and they fail to understand basic rights. What is a right to life? That's what you need to understand. A right to life, it means abortion is banned on the entire continent now. It means that execution was never supposed to exist. That is the opposite of America's foundation, okay? And you have police that have been shooting and killing their citizens when they're supposed to be upholding basic rights. So even under the guise of self-defense, when representing the government, you can no longer do that because I understand basic rights. I'm the world's smartest man in human history, and it's very embarrassing for America. I'm going to teach you about basic rights. I'm going to teach you about torture. I'm going to say that death and torture are wrong. I'm going to say it's wrong around the world right now. I don't care what government you have, killing your citizens is wrong, and that is what it means to be woke in 2022. And governments will hide the internet to evade my message to retain their national powers, okay? But you see, it's the dawn of a new era. The people, if you take any group at random, they'll vote for a leader based on intelligence. So, this is the foundation that you need to understand when building a government. You need to understand that we're all interconnected, okay? What we do on one side of the world still affects this side of the world. Even though I don't control your side of the world over there, it still affects us. That pollution, your conflicts over there, they still affect us ecologically. So we're all tied to this together. We need to be responsible as a planet now. And when we focus on the old leaders, our national leaders of all our countries, when we focus on the UN Security Council, and it's just a juggling act, to me, that's just fractured leadership. You have too many cooks in the kitchen. You see, you've ever heard that phrase before? You're all trying to cook the dish together, and you have way too many chefs. Okay, guys? You have one for the planet. And it's important that this person is ethical. It's important that you all make me the smartest person in human history as a team effort. This is not about my ego. This is about protecting our world. This is about following logic and reason at last for centuries, okay, of neglect. So you just need to understand that one thing first and foremost. It might take generations for the world to catch up with me. It might happen overnight. We don't really know. You need to understand that governments can no longer kill their people. Okay? So we have all this stuff now to kill people, but I command every national military in the world when representing the Zennial generation, you see. And that old fuddy-duddy leadership is going to get us into trouble. It's going to get us into mutually assured destruction. If you allow your parents to lead the world in their generation right now, if I allow my parents' generation to continue leadership, if I allow the United States and its Congress to continue leadership, thinking it knows what it's doing, that could lead to the end of the world, okay? And that's kind of a big deal. You're bludgeoning the free market with your sanctions and your tariffs. You think you can rule the world like you're God because of your military. You're abusing the U.S. military, and that is very frowned upon by anyone with half a brain, okay? You cannot abuse the war on terror. You've tarnished your reputation, America. You can no longer trust the FBI after the Vegas shooting, okay? We know the details now. It was a machine gunner from a helicopter above the concert, and Paddock is a patsy. So what's going on? There is funny business in America, and I'm not happy about it. I have to live and create a new country as a Cascadian and take over the continent because you guys are such buffoons. I have to take care of my wildlife. I have to safeguard my forest in the face of arson attacks and laser beams, okay? I have to contend with the leadership of the U.S. military when starting a new country. And this could be very troublesome if you have some asshat leading the U.S. military just wanting to be an old hawk again. Okay, guys? I command every military in the world now, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason for it, okay? We got torched, and I don't retaliate like America does. I have better leadership. I have taken charge rather than retaliated against the United States, okay? I'm in charge of your military now. If you throw billions on the fire in Ukraine, well, that's not my leadership. I lead every military in the world. And it will show, it definitely shows You don't need to be intimidated anymore, do you, Congress? Do you need to have hypersonic missiles flying over the Capitol? No, you do not. You just need to understand that I am in command of your military now, okay? The world is in safe hands. This allows us to all prosper as nations because that's fractured leadership. That's allowing a bunch of clutter and garbage to all have a squabble with nuclear weapons, okay? Now, we can't allow that. We have to be responsible for our generation and for our children. We have to think of them. We can't leave them the world that you left us, okay? You left us Hanford. And I have to deal with that kind of nuclear waste in my state, Liberty State, the state no one would talk about. Yeah, I can be governor, president of the West Coast, king of the continent. Surely it's all about my ego. No, it's about understanding this basic thing that human life matters, that the Declaration of Independence matters because it said that, okay? And you need to understand with all your infighting that we are all equal, okay? We're all just human beings. Nationalism can no longer be used as a tool to divide us as the human race. That's irresponsible. So yeah, I might still be the leader of a nation, a new nation. That's cool, but it's not cool to me because I'm trying to end nationalism itself, right? I still have to drag my heels. Yeah. I'm trying to lead by example, though, rather than through kinetic force. Because if you bludgeon a country, it's not going to like that. If you just invade a country, well, the people in that country are not going to like being invaded, okay? Do you understand that? And there's going to be animosity, and your revolution that you think is so cool will be short-lived, okay? So you lead by example. You lead through intelligence now, not through intimidation. The world can no longer be intimidated. It can be intimidated by the United States. I'm not intimidated by the United States, even with all your nuclear weapons and your killer drones. Yes, you could kill me, but I'm putting out these concepts that are fundamental to building government at all right? That human life has to matter, and we're starting to realize, hey, what is the need for big government anymore? Why do we even need it? The new government runs instead by donation so that the people can control the size of government. Taxation really is theft, and we no longer tax the citizens. So you don't have to pay your income tax. You don't have to pay your property tax. In fact, property lines no longer exist on my continent because we share the land. We understand Chief Seattle philosophy now. Didn't your parents teach you how to share? Have you ever heard that before? That's what I'm trying to teach you guys. These basic things we heard as a kid. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. In this outrage cancel culture, I'm trying to teach you about freedom of speech again. I'm trying to teach you about the First Amendment again. And they will haul me out, right? For telling the truth, for saying that I've banned vaccines on the entire continent, for having 9 ingredients that should not be in the human body, right? Because they want their World Health Organization and their CDC to make their concentration camps and take control. They want to have their medical gods take over and totally erode all your freedoms, right? Well, hey guys, look at me. Look at me. I toppled your country 8 years ago, America. And that's a very sour pill to swallow. It's a sour pill for journalists to know that they weren't doing their job for 8 fucking years. But can you really blame them? Journalists are killed today for telling the truth. You see that. You see that. It's a big issue. You tell the wrong story, and in some country you get assassinated, right? So telling the truth is dangerous business. To tell the truth about me is dangerous business. I toppled America. So if you have me on any social media platform, that is like ending the United States 8 fucking years ago and telling the truth. Whoa! So, what does it mean to be woke? Here, let's take it a notch further. Now that you understand basic rights, now that you understand the prison system was just torture, I understand what the natives did for their ethics and punishment and all this stuff. We need to create instead a society of reward instead of punishment. In my book, I argue that you don't punish a police dog to get it to do what you want, right? You reward it instead. So why would you do that with people? Why would you put people in a cage? Why would you put men in a cage for choosing their mate of their desire in mate selection? You put men in a cage for life. We're living in a feminist gynocracy, not a noocracy republic yet, okay? So yeah, abortion is banned, and you're going to have a lot of feminists irate about that who don't understand basic rights yet, that have gotten used to killing their babies and being promiscuous, you know? And it's really an evil society that we've constructed. And there is a difference between good and evil. They will try to muddy the waters. There's no such thing as right and wrong. There is understanding basic rights. You didn't understand it. So I'm telling you that killing your baby in the womb, it is immoral, ladies, even though you've been acclimated to thinking that this is women's empowerment. Okay? No, that's evil shit. And you want to muddy the water and associate abortion with religion as a tactic? Well, that doesn't fly. I'm just trying to teach you basic rights. You know? Here, I'm secular about it. What are you going to do now? So there's no wiggle room around this. They're overturning Roe v. Wade after I started a new country. You see, they're just trying to catch up reluctantly with where I am. They don't want to. They've wanted to do the opposite of everything I wanted to do. But now I think America is realizing, oh, I'm just light years ahead of everyone in human history. I have a new way to create energy. And you're all talking about fossil fuels and all this stuff and climate change. I give you free energy. And even in the face of your arguments about thermodynamics, right? I'm a third generation electrician, guys. Like, there is new stuff on the horizon. If you focus on any of the presidents of the world but me, you're putting us back into the dark ages, okay? So we have a focusing problem. You guys will all focus on the leaders of your desire rather than the noocracy representative, the guy that is representing human intelligence itself. And if I'm not the world's smartest person, well, oops, why didn't you help? Why didn't you help make me the most intelligent person alive? That's the point of building a noocracy now. Uh, I have to have the highest situational awareness for the planet in the face of an extraterrestrial attack, because I command the world army, okay? And we have been attacked, and it's ambiguous if it was extraterrestrial or not. We don't know. But here at Cape Canaveral, you guys saw it all for yourselves. A UFO flew by a Falcon 9 rocket and blew it up on the launch pad. Something fishy happened there, and your Facebook satellite blew up. In the aftermath of this, I created facebookdied.com so that you will understand the importance of free speech, because if you compartmentalize the leader of the free world who commands every military in the world just for your own national interests, well, that could lead to mutually assured destruction, because you're allowing that old fuddy-duddy Iron Mountain mentality, ruled by intimidating force, ruled by bludgeoning everybody with might makes right. In our parents' generation, that's the way they did things, okay? And I'm just here to say that doesn't fly anymore. We will not be intimidated. We rule the world. Our generation, the Zennial, rules the world now, okay? We have new leadership, and you can choose to accept it or go on with your egocentric nationalism. It's funny, isn't it? I think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious, and it's a learning experience for everyone.